Well, hello everyone and welcome to the North Park Youth Podcast. This is our second last podcast in the series of getting to know people in our North Park youth community, which is amazing. But not only is it our second last, it's also probably the most unique because we're going to have story time with Aaliyah today. And I think that's going to be awesome. So we didn't do any ask anything questions. We're just going to have a bit of time hearing about Aaliyah's story. But first, can you tell us who you are, just so we have an idea of who you are?
Okay. Hi, I'm Aaliyah. I'm in grade 6, and my favorite subject in school is science and music.
Science and music. One thing in the arts and the other thing in the sciences.
Yeah.
Do you play instruments, right?
Yeah, I actually play multiple.
Ooh, do tell.
So I play piano, and I played a bit of ukulele until I learned the guitar. I learned recorder at school, and my piano teachers, when we were in person, showed me a bit of the harp, so I could work on the notes.
Ooh,
fun.
That's awesome. I have a friend who plays the harp, and I think it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful instrument. So
that's awesome.
That's very, very cool. Pardon?
I also think, I guess it's not really an instrument. It's I think about it, make music, so.
It's true. It's all in the music world. That's awesome. Okay, so the reason I wanted you on the podcast is because you have been on a really cool journey with your faith the last few months. Can you fill us in on what you've been experiencing starting a few months ago?
Okay. Wow. Okay. So in a kind of in the middle of March, I was watching the teaching on Wednesday, and it was the one that you and Hannah and Olivia did together.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was really cool and really interesting. And I thought about it a lot the next night. And then at 10:30 p.m., I went downstairs and told my parents I'd become a Christian.
That's amazing.
And 3 hours. And I could not cry for the next 5 days. I cried so much.
So what stood out for you? What prompted you to want to become a Christian that day?
I was just thinking a lot about afterwards, after you die, because I've been thinking a lot. Because I have relatives who aren't Christians, which kind of makes me really sad. And I was thinking of that, and then I was like, I'm crazy. I've done so many things wrong, and then I prayed and asked for forgiveness. And it was super awesome.
That's so cool. So
another random up to me. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it. Go for it.
On the way downstairs, I stepped on chocolate chip and it melted into my foot. That's one thing that I remember so clearly. I just remember thinking, there's a chocolate chip on my foot.
There's a chocolate chip on my foot, and I also just became a Christian.
Yeah. I was looking at my mom, and I looked down at my foot, and there was chocolate on it. And I looked over at my dad, and he had a granola bar wrapper next to him, a chocolate granola bar. I was I stepped on your chip.
That's awesome. That's a very key part of the story. Definitely. Okay, so that was in March, right? And leading up to March, you were attending youth every single week, right? So you've been hearing a lot of the teachings and all that sort of stuff. Did you ever have any big questions about God or the Bible that you had leading up to it?
Probably, yeah. No, I can't remember that off the top of my head right now, but I do remember thinking a lot about afterwards I would get mad at my sister for coming into my room when I'm when I need privacy, when I'm changing or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, am I supposed to be getting mad? Because I'm a Christian now, and then my head was just swirling with all the questions. But I read Christian magazine, and actually there's an ask section, and one of the people literally asked, I became a Christian 2 months ago, and then I kicked my sister yesterday. What do I do? I was like, that's actually a very helpful question.
And did you get an answer?
Sort of. It was it's Christians aren't perfect, but they try the best they can to be kind to others. And I've been trying my best to do that, especially like at school, because like if somebody's not being nice to me, I won't be mean back. And like even today, our class we were doing presentation, and I was the person like in the comments. If somebody was like, I don't want to do it, or like I don't think I'm ready, I'll be like, you got this.
Oh, that's
and, like,
awesome.
That one's gonna be way better than mine. And like, yeah. So I try to be really nice, even if like I'm even trying to be nice to a girl who kind of like was really mean to me last year. So I'm trying to be nice. I'm not trying to be like a friend, because I tried to do that once, didn't end well last year. But I'm just trying to be nice. Like I don't want to.
That's really cool. So it's amazing how when you really felt like the forgiveness from God, it seems like you really want to extend that to other people and that love to other people. That's so
like,
cool.
I'm trying to, like COVID and like everybody's super upset. So like I've been trying my best to like be nice to others and like have fun ideas. Stuff we can do.
Yeah.
Including, I had the great idea that we, on the last day of school, we should all bake together. Like we should all like have a simple recipe. And I suggest every single recipe I knew. Eminem was like, "Okay, stop talking." Go to a French school, so we call our teachers Eminem and Lucia.
That's awesome. And what's so cool is that like we can try really hard to be kind to people, but we also, when we become a Christian, we have the Holy Spirit living in us to help us. Because as you said, before you became a Christian, it was hard, right? To even be kind to your sister and kind to people at school. But then we have Jesus, and he can really help us be kind and do the things that he wants us to do, which is so cool. So that was in March, and now we're in June. So you're 3 months in. And so what would you say, what have you been, yeah, let's party. Let's celebrate that. What would you say you've been learning over the last 3 months about who God is?
Well, I've been reading my Bible a lot more. And me and my mom actually went to like, what's it called? Like the bookstore, like Christian bookstore or whatever. And we kind of had like a day together, and we kind of hung out. And I had a Starbucks gift card that I actually kind of got and used, because like the March not break.
Oh, nice.
And mom, like, so we like worked on. I got a new Bible for Christmas. And, well, I guess that doesn't really, but like I've been reading it a lot more. I'm like more into like the extra study guides and stuff. And like I've been reading more like Christian based books, like obviously Seeing Voices. That's my favorite book ever.
So good. Shout out to Olivia.
I'm not just saying that because you guys are my youth leader. I'm literally, it's awesome. And then also a book called my used to favorite series, The Epic Order of the Seven. It's also based on Christian history, but then it went American history, and I gave up. And then book, Mandy, they're really good. They're like this girl, because she's like a Christian. She lived like a really long time ago, and it's just cool to read.
That's awesome.
And you remember, I think it was a few weeks ago, I want to say it was in May, when Olivia Smith did the teaching, like just her, I kind of got super emotional, because last time she helped with the teaching, I became a Christian the next night, so I got super emotional. Actually, turn off my video on like the Zoom call thing, so I got emotional.
Yeah. She's been a huge part of your journey, which makes sense why you would get emotional about that. Yeah, that's pretty significant. And
also, I cannot eat that.
That's okay.
I cannot eat granola bars.
Yeah, fair. I also love how you mentioned that, because I think in the teaching when it was Olivia, Hannah, and I doing it, so the one that you referenced in March, I think we were talking a lot about the importance of like, reading your Bible is super, super important, but it's also nice to have other books to read to complement it. And you just shared a whole bunch of other books to read to complement. So I love that.
Yeah, that one's actually about discipleship. It was week 3 of discipleship.
Yep.
I remember it.
We had so much fun doing it, so I'm glad you enjoyed it.
And Olivia's hairstyle was super similar to mine.
Ooh.
Short. I remember that.
I don't remember her hairstyle, but I can go back and look.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one final question for you as we near the end of this with you. And this has been super great, so I'm excited about this. But if you had someone come up to you and say, "What does it mean for you to follow Jesus?" What would you say?
Oh, Wow. That's hard.
It's a big question, I know. I'm just curious.
Well, I guess I would say, like, it's, like, not just, like, saying, oh, yeah, I did some stuff wrong, please forgive me, but, like, it's actually meaning it and, like, trying to show God's love to, like, other people and, like, not just being like, okay, I'm a Christian now, I'm just going to go back to what I used to do. Mm-hmm. Like, to actually effort to be, like, nicer, more, like, supportive of other people. And, like, yeah, basically what I'd say. Because I'm a person who, like, deeply believes in, like, being kind, especially as, like, a victim of actually bullying before. I'm super supportive of, like, kindness and self-empowerment. So,
mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, this has been so good. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I know that, like, I've had bits and pieces from behind the scenes, but I was like, everybody at youth needs to know this, as long as you're willing to share, obviously. Because yeah, it's been interesting with youth being online, right? But God is still doing some really cool things, and he's been working in your life in some pretty significant ways. So I just love hearing that. And I love that God has allowed me to be on that journey in a small way with you. So thank you for sharing, and thank you for sharing on the podcast with us.
You're welcome. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. And really, for anybody who's listening to this podcast, if you have a story of how God is working in your life, we would love to hear it. And never know, maybe I'll pull you on the podcast too. This has been awesome. So we have one more week of the podcast, but Aaliyah, thank you so much for being on here. It has been just a gift to have you.
It was so awesome that you let me come.
Yeah. All right. Take care, everyone.